A little housekeeping. Until Dawn is a 6-hour game, meaning instead of me playing 72 hours worth of content, gameplay credits are in the description. Second, Until Dawn is filled with the most useless decisions, so I'll only be showcasing the ones that are interesting or have an effect on the future. And of course, spoilers. Let's get into it. We have our snowy lodge, oblivious teenagers, and creepy man with a knife, also known as the tutorial. Most formally known as your actions do not matter. Whether you wake up Josh or find the others, Beth will still chase after Hannah. Quick reminder that those quick time events are indeed optional and you do not have to hit them. Regardless of the choices you make, whether you choose fast or safe or noise or footprints, you'll end up at the exact same place the game wants you to be. The same totem, flamethrower guy, and most importantly, Hannah I guess. Now we make it to the cliff scene, where we have 3 choices, but the exact same ending. Whether you choose to drop Hannah, drop both, or wait out the timer, the twins will still die at the exact same place, with slightly different timings.
I've fallen!
Now, we're still in the tutorial phase, meaning that our decisions are still useless. Whether you chose to close or snip the bag, Chris will always steal Jessica's envelope with a slight voice line change.
Hey!
However, in the gun scene with Sam and Chris, choosing to kill the squirrel or not is really important, as if you kill the squirrel, for some reason a crow decides to attack Sam, putting her in danger later in the story. Our next semi-big choice is the interaction between Matt and Mike, as Matt can choose to either welcome Mike or threaten him. And let's just say, welcoming is so much funnier.
You guys gonna make out now?
Oh my god, totally. We're so gonna make out. No.
The rest of the scene is just dialogue options until we get up to Ashley's part. Ashley can then see Mike and Em being a little bit too close and can choose to either tell Matt the truth or gaslight him. Choosing either one determines what happens in the cabin fight. What is cabin fight to ask? Well, it's every family's favorite show. Let's check it out.
Cabin fight. Emily versus Jessica.
Oh my god, that is so gross.
Oh, we see Emily is making a great start already.
Excuse me? Did you say something?
Oh, did you not hear me? Was your sluttiness too loud?
Another direct hit from Emily. No idea how Jessica's gonna recover from this one.
Green boat. Congrats, you're top cow.
Cuts real deep calling Miss Homecoming a cow.
Ooh, I'm not sure what Jessica's trying to do there. Let's see how Matt can help the game.
Em, come on.
No, shut up, Matt.
Not looking good for Matt. Let's watch the replay.
Hey, you're making everyone uncomfortable, Jess.
Jealous much? Emily too frigid for you too.
It is not a good season for Matt today.
Whatever. I don't give a crap what you think.
At least I can think. 4.0 bitch, on a roll. Suck on that when you're trying to sleep your way into a job.
Who needs grades when you've got all the natural advantages you can handle?
Oh, not a good form from Jessica's end. I'm gonna have to deduct a point for that.
Now, depending if Matt chooses to provoke or defuse the situation determines if Emily will or will not have a grudge against Matt. Alternatively, if Matt saw Mike and Emily together, this activates the fight to happen between them. Now, to be brief, there are 3 stages you could get to. You could either accuse Mike of what he's done and then apologize, or you could accuse Mike and back up your accusation. If you choose to apologize, it'll still allow for Emily and Jessica to still have their fight. Or, of course, there's the cabin fight. All fights would feature Josh breaking it up in some way. I know I skipped the snowball scene, but that's because I didn't care. The choices are meaningless whether you want to punish Jessica or punish Mike, either one is just as funny. Now, as long as you don't kiss Mike, it'll trigger another QuickTime event, whether if you avoid it or complete it, it will have the exact same outcome. Yeah, not important, dialogue options, boring, Mike loses Riz, Sam loses Riz, why am I saying Riz? No one says Riz. Not important, more dialogue, Matt's getting offended by snow.
Hell, Em.
Still boring, Mike being funny. No matter what you choose, the dog will still go oh, there it goes. Anyways, the QuickTime events are still optional, meaning you don't have to hit them if you want a bit of a funnier gameplay.
Mike, what the hell are you doing? Mike, what are you doing? I don't know.
Interestingly enough, this interaction will cause a new dialogue to occur.
Seriously? You need new pants?
What?
Well, you pooped all over those.
Don't ask me, I'm just as confused as you are. Now, there are 2 possible objectives. One is starting a fire that denies all logic, and the other one, if you prank Jessica, is finding blankets to use. Now, Jessica's outfits are dependent if you did a prank or not, dialogue options, and your romantic choices. You could then either have her in her normal clothes, a shirt and jeans, or have her in a bikini, you perv. Fun fact, do you know what all these outfits have in common? If you guessed being pulled out the window by an unknown figure in front of your boyfriend, you'd be correct. Damn, Mark, should have brought protection. Now, if you want Jessica to live, it's important what choices you make, whether you take the long or risky shortcuts, and if you complete or fail the quick time events. Then this will lead to 6 different outcomes of Jessica's fate. Do you know what all these outfits have in common? If you guessed plummeting down 40 feet, you'd be correct. Now, it doesn't matter how good your aim is, the gun will still jam when you hit the target. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Daddy Ryan, what if I just missed the first target and saved my bullet for the second target? What? Nope, try that. You stupid bitch. Doesn't matter what choice you make, Josh will still die. The only difference between the two is true voice line changes. No! Now you can either cut off your fingers, or break the machete to free your hand, or you can be smart like me and just skip the whole thing entirely. Now it doesn't matter if you hit the dog or not, it only matters if you give him a bone. Here we go again with those optional quick time events. Emily just wants Matt to do everything for her. Now I underestimated how many possibilities are in this chase scene, so let's talk about them. Depending if you said you were scared of needles with Dr. Hill determines if the killer will have a gas mask or a needle. If you wait out the timer, you'll be sedated. It doesn't matter if you throw or drop the vase, Sam will always run. If you wait out the next timer, you'll be sedated. Choosing to hide never works, you'll always be found and be forced to fight the killer and run off. Same deal here, hiding won't work, and when you get found you have the option to fight the killer and run off or be captured. If you wait out the timer, you'll be sedated. Either choice is fine just as long as you lock the door. If you choose to run, you'll be sedated. The correct way to get away is to hide in the elevator shaft. However, if you gave Sam a boo-boo, she'll be too hurt to turn off her flashlight, leading to her getting found by the killer. If Sam is captured at any point, there'll be changes to the story. Now I guess the right thing to do is leave the moose be, but don't forget that violence is always an answer. Now because of this, there are 11 quick time events you have to get through, and if you mess up once... Cool enough, you actually see Matt being dragged off by a Wendigo. Oh, and it also changes the story, such as Emily being alone in the tower. That's just about it, Matt was never important. Now it's important who gets a flare gun. If you chose to give it to Matt, there's a chance that he will fire it in the air. This is because a dialogue option where he chooses to agree with Emily. Otherwise, if Matt chooses to disagree, he will keep the gun for himself, or Emily can fire the gun or keep it for herself. The fire isn't important, I just find it funny. Later in the mines, it doesn't matter how nice you are to Emily, she's still mean to you, so may as well get the upper hand.
What the f is your problem?
What?
Now it's impossible to save Emily, so the safest option is to jump into the platform, otherwise you'll collapse into the mines. Matt is then attacked by a Wendigo. If you have a flare gun, you can fight the Wendigo off. Otherwise, if you miss a quick time event or don't have a flare gun, Matt will be killed. Now if you split up with Ashley, you'll find these magical doors and see the killer. Otherwise, if you follow Chris, you just do more investigating. Now depending on the therapist's choices, and if Sam is kidnapped or not, the doll can be found in many places. Firstly, the dummy is customized on the choices you make with Dr. Hill. If Sam was kidnapped and Ashley explored with Chris, the doll will be in the freezer. If Sam was kidnapped and Ashley didn't explore with Chris, Chris will scare Ashley with the doll. If Sam was kidnapped, Ashley and Chris will discover the body and make no attempt to help her or to untie her. If Sam escaped, the dummy will take her place in the chair. If Ashley discovers a corkboard, one of the pictures will be etched out. This is because of the choices with Dr. Hill. After they discover Sam, Chris and Ashley will be attacked. If Ashley took the scissors, she'll be given a choice to attack the killer or to be sedated. Stabbing the killer will cause him to punch her in the face and have 2 voice line changes. Here we can see Ashley with and without the black eye. Now the gun is fake, so no one actually dies, but if you choose to shoot Ashley, it will cause a major event to occur. Now the game cuts to chapter 7 with Sam, which is dependent if you got kidnapped or not. If you're kidnapped, you'll be immediately rescued by Mike. Otherwise, as Sam, you'll break into the killer's workshop and get to do some investigating. And also going to rescue Mike yourself, because men are useless. Then we get to see this crazy cliffhanger, and then we cut to Emily's gameplay. If Emily reaches the foot of this hill and Matt died by 4 damage, she will actually discover his shoe. If Emily discovers all the clues such as the markings, the gravestone and Beth's head, it will trigger a voice line to occur later. And no matter if you succeed or fail the quick time event, Emily will still get away to yet another cliffhanger. Back to the others, Sam will have a dialogue change if she discovered all the clues. Now there's nothing important in this next scene, however it is really funny.
Can't tie him up if they just wiggle around. Leave me a little wiggle room, huh?
Chris and Ash. Chris is an ass.
Well, I said you're a dummy.
Now you got your 3 standard choices, with the most important one being disarming Mike, as this will affect his choices in the future. Then they'll leave the shed and it will go back to Emily.
Nice car.
Now with Emily, it's important that you succeed all the quick time events if you want her to survive, which is what some people want, but not me. Anyways, if Emily has a flare, she has an option to shoot the Wendigo, which will prevent her from being bitten. If she fails this, she'll end up getting a bite from the Wendigo and be thrown 100 feet, causing no injuries whatsoever. If Emily doesn't have the gun in the first place, she'll always be bitten no matter what. Weirdly enough, in the next scene, Mike will hear Emily scream, transitioning into the next event. However, if Emily dies, you can still hear the scream for literally no reason whatsoever. Emily's dialogue is dependent on the clues she found and her relationship with Matt. Next, Chris could ask for the pistol, which Mike may comply. However, if Chris chooses to disarm Mike, he will lose his trust and not give him the gun. Now before Chris leaves, Ashley and Chris may have a sentimental kiss, or Ashley will just stare at him. As if this game wasn't cliche enough, the stranger is killed almost instantly, then Chris will reach a cabin. However, if he chose to shoot Ashley, she'll be so nonchalant that she'll refuse to let him into the building, causing him to get killed in front of her. If Chris misses a quick time event, he'll die before reaching the cabin. However, that is not the end of it. The Wendigo would then use Amazon delivery to throw the head in front of the house, which Ashley will see. But if he didn't choose to shoot Ashley and succeed with the quick time event, she'll be let into the house. In the bunker, if Emily wasn't bitten or has died, there'll be no conflict whatsoever. Otherwise, Ashley won't mind her own business and cause a bunch of drama. Mike then has the fun choice of choosing if Emily lives or dies. Fun fact, if you no-scope her in the face, it will actually increase Mike's funniness scale. But technically the right thing to do is to let her live. Now Ashley has a choice to either tell Emily the truth or keep it for herself, and if you tell Emily the truth there'll be no consequences whatsoever.
Understand the palm of my hand, bitch.
Now in this next part, Mike is the definition of optional quick time events. However, if you miss a couple quick time events, you have the risk of either losing a hatchet or Wolfie. If Mike is overpowered by a Wendigo at any point in time, the gameplay cuts short and go back to the cabin. Now if you manage to get Wolfie alive this long and you chose to escape, he will die. However, if you barricade the door, he will still survive, except he won't jump down to the pit. If Mike succeeded all the quick time events, he'll make it outside the sanatorium. Oh look, she's still alive.
Still alive!
It's still early.
Available in 3 separate colors, each sold separately. Now with the tunnel, there's a couple of combinations you could get based on who's still alive, but at least you'll still have Ashley and Sam. Now the best thing to do with Chris is to make sure he's not left alone, as he will die. Now you can just be boring and rejoin the group, however if you go investigate the voice there are actually more benefits, such as finding this butterfly totem, but more importantly there's a trapdoor, where if you open it, Ashley will be killed. If Chris wants to simp, he can actually follow the same path ending in his death. If you think you can be smart by rejoining the group, Chris will be killed no matter what.
No, I think I can. It's like a rock wall.
I swear, this bitch will find any excuse to climb a wall. In this next part, the game will force Sam to carry a weapon of some kind. If she took the normal route, she'll get a shovel to fight the Wendigo. Otherwise, if she went upstairs, she'll get a metal rod. If Mike never escaped the Sanatorium, Sam will have an extended gameplay.
Making my way downtown, walking fast.
Then Sam will have to fight the Wendigo off Mike. In this next part, it's crucial that both of them go up here to read Hannah's journal. Then we get up to my favorite part. Bodies are us. You kill 'em, we sell 'em. Get this beautiful winter outfit for only $9.99. Bring the fresh look with this bloody Letterman jacket. Feels like you lost your head? Why not grab Ashley's at 20% off? Even Jessica's jaw is dropping on how amazing these prices are. Hooray! Available in 3 separate seasons. Still can't afford this trendy Emily? Why not get half off? Now if you did read the diary, that'll cause a dialogue to happen where Sam explains the situation to Josh. Josh then becomes aware that the Wendigo is his sister. Then, Samantha, I swear I will. Then, when Josh is attacked by the Wendigo, he'll recognize the tattoo and cry out Hannah. Then the Wendigo will take him back to the cave. However, if Josh fails to recognize Hannah, his skull will be crushed. Then, if Matt is still alive, you get to play as Matt. Otherwise, you play as Jess. If both of them are dead, you get to play as rock climbing bitch. Don't even think about it. Wait, did someone say optional quick time event? If the two of them are running together, it's best to hide to save Jessica's life. If you fail a hide and quick time event, both of them will be killed. If you want to prank Jessica, there's also the option to abandon her. If you are playing as only Jessica, you have to hide then break through. If you're playing matched, you can either survive by breaking through or running, just as long as you succeed all the quick time events. Now with this scene, there's a couple of variations based on who's alive, but for the sake of the ending, let's just say Aaron's still here. If Emily was bitten and Ashley told her the truth, she will shove her while running. This doesn't seem like much, but it actually changes the order of who leaves the cabin. Now the ending is difficult, but there's only one solution.
Now if you want everyone to survive, it's important that you pass all the quick time events. If you fail the do not move event, Mike will be attacked. He'll still get up like a champ and break the light switch, but he'll still die in the end. If Mike was attacked, there will be another quick time event to save either Emily or Ashley, depending on their earlier choice. Then, if you outwait the timer, the Wendigo will kill the correspondent person. If Sam fails any do not move events after the first one, she'll be dead. If Sam cannot flick the switch, Mike will use his lighter to set the house on fire. In order to get everyone to survive, you need to save Mike and then keep hiding into the building until you know everyone has gone. Then you'll flick the switch to end this game and this awful video. The credits are dependent on what has happened in the game. Sadly, I will not be going through them, so instead I've put on the screen on how you can unlock them for yourselves. And let's not forget, if you manage to get Josh alive, there will be a secret ending. Well, that's it. We've covered every possibility in Until Dawn. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe as that helps me as creator. Thanks again to the people that supplied these video clips, as I couldn't do it without them. With that said, see you later.